Okay, so those are the three facets of what we want to do with Going North. Now, it might seem kind of crazy for you to be given this grand vision of an organization run by Africans, helping Africa, but to hear it coming from an American. So I want to introduce you to my friend Adrian Adams. I'm going to show some video of Adrian up here. He is a South African, and he is the one who he and I got the grand vision plan for Going North. The whole thing happened when I was there in February. I gave him the rescue video by Invisible Children. We had a 2-hour talk and conversation over coffee. He scribbled Going North on a napkin, and the whole idea came from that. So I met up with Adrian when I was in Uganda this summer on the Going North trip with South Africans. And we had about an hour-long conversation about Going North. And so I want to show you some clips about that right now, where he will explain from a South African's point of view why this is something they want to start and why this is something that they're so excited about.
And then you came for the reunion, and you brought with you that DVD of the Invisible Children, the rescue plan, or the rescue. And I remember sitting that Monday morning watching it with our students in our school, and I was crying because for me, yes, it's sad about what's happening with the children, and it's sad about what's happening in Africa. But what saddened me the most was the fact that we as fellow Africans, we don't know about it. And I realized that there's so much more happening in Africa which we just don't know.
Yeah.
And the power of media and how it can play a role in mobilizing people to move into action and get involved, that kind of just brought us to the table of that same morning, where the two of us just sat down and we just started to write down on paper everything that came up in our mind, and kind of the whole thing was birthed. I think South Africa is empowered enough to really make a huge impact on the continent. There's no doubt in my mind. There's resources available, there are people available, and the thing is just to get people around a common mission vision. And I think once we can get to that stage where people work together towards a common mission, a lot can be accomplished on this continent. And therefore we strongly feel that it needs to come from South Africa, Africans empowering Africans.
But anyhow, I'm coming to the end of the presentation now, and I have two final questions I want to answer. First of all, what will I personally be doing there to help get Going North started, and also, why me? So first, what will I be doing there? Well, you see, this whole idea of communicating through media and just uniting all these organizations, I've already traveled around Africa a lot. I have lots of connections, and also what I happen to do is record things with this video camera all the time. So if I get enough funding to go there for a year, my home base will be Pretoria, South Africa, but from there I'll also be traveling all around Africa and establishing this database, this network for Going North, doing videos at every organization I find, kind of helping build this database so we have all these organizations on there. So in a nutshell, my job will be living in South Africa and traveling from there with my video camera and telling stories about all the different things so we can get people involved in Africa. And then we have why me? Why is this being done by an American when the whole point is to have South Africans and Africans involved in Africa? Well, the best way to sum it up is that I've been there since the beginning. The idea was Adrian and I having coffee, and he started jumbling it all into a napkin, and it just happened. So I see the vision and I know what needs to be done, and I have this passion to travel Africa and do documentaries. As I explained about 10 minutes ago in this presentation, that's what I decided when I saw Invisible Children that I wanted to do. I wanted to make documentaries in Africa. And this is the most phenomenally amazing opportunity to do that I'll probably ever have. And so I'm going after it with all my might just to get it done. So that's my explanation of why I'm doing it. But I asked Adrian that same question in Uganda. I said, why do you want this American to come? And this is a little bit of the response that he had.
There are many people out there that are skilled. There are people out there that are talented, gifted in making good videos. But there are very few people that are passionate about their work. And that's something that we've picked up with you, which really encourages us and say, we don't just have someone here that says, well, okay, do this for me, do that for me, I'm going to record this, and then I'm going to try and figure out how to make this happen. But what we've seen out of the Swazi video, what we've seen out of the Going North video clip that was made, and what we've seen in some of the other productions you've done, passion is something that just comes almost like naturally, because the heart for Africa comes forward, and the heart for seeing change through the media that you are using. And that's of high value for us.
So that explanation of why Adrian thinks I should be the one to help them start going north, that's pretty much all the presentation I have. And now to conclude, I just need to give you an idea of what's ahead of me as I try to raise the money and just get myself there. Now, I'm not expecting everyone that watches this to give me money. That's perfectly fine. But I'm just wanting to share the story with you. And if it's something that you feel like you'd like to be involved in one way or the other, then I'd love to have you get involved. So I'm just going to lay out in front of you kind of what my plan is and what my goals are and some of the ways that you could potentially help. So I want to go by November of 2009 down to South Africa, because right about then the next Swaziland trip will happen. We'll be taking 500 people to Swaziland. So I want to get there by then so I can be there to videotape that. And so I'm hoping to get there by November and have enough raised to stay for at least an entire year. Now for 1 year, I'm trying to raise $10,000, and it breaks down like this. Roughly, I'll need $1,500 for the plane ticket. Then I would need $1,000 or so for health insurance there for an entire year, which is something my dad insists on, obviously. And then I'm going to need, this is kind of wiggle room, $4,000 to $5,000 just for general travel expenses and living expenses when I'm there. Because I'm going to be going all around Africa, and the visas and buses and short flights and all that is relatively cheap in Africa, but I just need to have that money there to work with so I can go and do what going north needs me to do. And then last, $2,500, because I really am in need of a new laptop if I'm going to be doing this much intensive video work. The Mac that I have right now is 4.5 years old. It's fantastic, but it's going to crash any day now just because I've put so many hundreds of hours of work into it. So that right there is the baseline $10,000 that I'm going to try to raise that could definitely sustain me for a whole year. Adrian and them already have a place that they can house me, a room, so I don't have to raise a bunch of money for room and board, which is a tremendous blessing. But that $10,000 benchmark, to my best knowledge, could get me going for a full year. Then if I can raise $1,500, that will get me there for a whole year, but also let me buy all brand new camera equipment. A really good HD camera, new microphones, tripods, and all that. What I have right now is sufficient and will work, but it's all stuff that I've bought used off eBay, and it could go anytime. There's little problems here and there that I deal with, but because of the nature of what I'm doing, I want it to be high quality video and footage, and so unfortunately it's very expensive to get this equipment, but it's kind of a necessity for what I do. So I can get by on the $10,000 and do it, but if I'm able to raise the $15,000, that next amount of money is going to go towards getting more equipment that could last for years and years and years and years. And obviously if I'm able to get more than that, it will go towards me staying for longer than a year. Now, what does this look like? Am I just going to people and asking for money? Essentially, I'm doing whatever on earth I can do. I'm sharing the story with everybody, presenting to as many organizations, churches, families, friends, anyone that I can, applying for grants. I'm applying for a Fulbright fellowship, but it's a lot of things that I don't know when they'll materialize. And so if this is something that you are excited about, something you think you could support, then I'm going to have all my contact information at the end of this video. And I would love to come do a presentation in your home, at your church, at your school, anywhere, or you can just show this DVD. But don't think you just have to give money. I definitely just need people supporting me, people praying for me, people telling people about this, just because I want to share what's going on. Maybe you know someone who could help donate the airfare. Maybe you know someone who works for Apple and could help me get a cheap discount on a computer or camera supplies or anything like that. So don't think just because you don't have money that you're not able to get involved and help. On that note, I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart who's helped me get to this point, who's helped fund me, who's been praying for me, who's been just supporting me or sharing my story, because there's so many of you out there, and I want to thank you for that. And I'm done now, so I want to thank you for watching this video, watching this presentation, and let's be in touch. I can't wait to share with you what's going to happen in South Africa, and I can't wait for you in some way, shape, or form to become a part of this Going North movement. Take care and God bless.